Sup guys, we're going to do another guest incognito mystery shopper game against a beginner, and I'm going to choose a 15 plus 10, which means that we've got time to talk about all kinds of stuff, and we're particularly looking at what are the mistakes that beginners play. The point of this is not to beat up on a beginner player, and it's not to insult anybody, it's to show what are they not doing. Okay, well, 1e4, good start, right? I'm going to go e5, and I'm not going to play any gambit or anything like that right now. Okay, we got the bishop's opening. Now, I just said I'm not going to play a gambit. I automatically play the Calabrese counter gambit here. So, what is principled? So he's brought out a piece. We can't attack it because that square is covered twice. Knight f6 means we may be able to play that. Now, I'm not really familiar with playing against the bishop's opening. Okay, he plays knight c3, giving him now 3 eyes on the d5 square. Fair enough. I'm kind of inclined to bring out my bishop and then push d6. That looks very natural. Could even play bishop here like you do in the London sometimes. Okay, so let's play it kind of London style, but my king and queen are the wrong way around. Okay, so I'm not worried about the knight coming in here. It's funny seeing ads on the side of my chess.com board. Okay, and now I can just push d6, right? Defends this bishop, defends this pawn, which is currently undefended. Now we might have knight in here, but then I can actually immediately castle, because the knight and the bishop would both be looking at the f7 square. However, my rook will be on f8 defending, also my king on g8 defending. Okay, and I bet this is a position that's been... Oh, look! We've transposed into a Vienna Anderson defense. Anyway, we're not worried about theory and all that kind of nonsense. I'm kind of drawn to bishop g4. Knight c6 is very natural, looking at this square. Again, it kind of feels London-like. A bit like a Jabava London, really, in a way. We're kind of threatening this, but again, the royal family are switched sides. Okay, we have a pin now. Right, instructive position. Bishop pins knight to our queen. We have a bishop looking at f pawn, and our knight is able to move to a square and attack that pawn safely. So we do actually have here the bishop sack line. Bishop takes f2 check, king takes, knight here check, and then we win the no because the bishop's defended. So let's just think this through. Okay, we're -2. We're still -2. King moves away. Nothing gained. All right, let's try and remove the knight. If the knight takes here, we've got bishop takes. But this is a good square for a knight. He may also, by the way, come in. c6 might be a thought at some point. I'm not upset about this pin right now. It's not like there's any pawn that's going to come and attack the knight. The knight is defended by a pawn, which is one of like Naroditsky's rules. Even bishop here takes. You know, any pawn captures towards the center are bound to be helpful later on. If takes, and then I think this is on. Takes here. Queen can't take because the bishop defends, and then when the king takes, moves. So what we've done is it's an equal trade, or if you just want a pawn even. We've won a pawn, and I know it's kind of complicated, right? So there, let's pretend our queen, our bishop's on here, and there's no knight, right? We take, king takes, we come to here with check. King moves, we win the bishop, because this knight doesn't exist. All right, that's interesting. I I have this, but it falls to c3, fork. We don't want that. If I take queen takes, I could just drop back. If knight takes, a takes, that's okay. But then knight takes here, and I end up with double pawns, but it's not a bad pawn. I mean, but it is kind of undefended, and I have no light squared bishop. Opponent's playing quite well. I wouldn't call this beginner level play by any means. b5 is a pawn fork. b5, knight takes bishop, pawn takes bishop. I have captured towards the center. He needs to move his knight now, and he doesn't have a good place because of this, right? Whenever you've got a knight and a bishop, and the bishop is 3 squares below the knight, a very common pattern, notice that the bishop covers all of the knight's forward squares. So I'm thinking this, but then if bishop, oh no, that's okay. Well, let's go b5. You see the difference of just stopping and going, maybe there's another resource here. And that's what marks out where you are from a slightly better player and from where they are for a slightly better player, and so on and so forth, right? Always be considering alternative moves. Are there better moves? Okay, so we have bishop takes, and that just loses the piece. You can trade, but you're a piece down. Now, he didn't think that through, did he? He took 17 seconds, and he forgot that knights can move backwards. And now we're in a position where we're up. I've got 2 bishops, he's only got the 1, and what he's doing now is the wrong approach, right? He's now going berserk and trading. When you are down in material, you don't want to trade. We've had this discussion many, many times. There's a fight in the schoolyard, right? 9 kids against 10 kids, pretty even, right? But then the mums come along and remove 6 kids from each team. So it's no longer 9-10, right? Which is even, but it's 3-4. 3-4 is a very different proposition. That's what happens when you're down in material and you trade off. You magnify the advantage of having the extra material. And so you get down to a position where you've got an endgame, king and a few pawns versus king and a few pawns and a knight, king and a few pawns and a bishop, right? Huge advantage. So, while we're here as well, question for you is, do you have a book in you, right? If you are, and this is a bit of shameless self-promotion here, I'm going to take, and the reason is because there's a lot of pawns and light squares, and why not, you know? And castle, and probably this, something like this. Right, so if you go along to benhunt.com, which I can show you very quickly. There you go, Ghost Writer. So I've written 10 books before, and I really, really like the process. Plus it's something you get to do outside, you get something to do on walks and with your dog and whatever like that. So if you would like to, if you like to write a book together, but maybe you don't have the time, maybe you don't have the confidence or the skills to put pen to paper and come up with something really professional, then I can help. There you go. And particularly if it's anything to do with, like, you know, food, farming, ethics, chess, you know, all the things that I'm interested in, and the way that the world really works and stuff like that. Don't know what my opponent's doing here. He took 6 seconds over his last move. So all that's come off the board, he's given up 3 minor pieces. Knight here's a good idea as well, isn't it? Hits the queen. Queen then has to defend this pawn, which is also hit. Therefore, the queen can't come there, by the way, because she's still hit. So if here, queen has to go back to d1. This is a pattern we see in many, many, many shapes and forms. Right. Looks like he might have disappeared. But why walk? I mean, it's not like there's no rating on the line here. Okay, he's having a think. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's throw the knight in, right? You see, I know that's not a mistake. Because, for one thing, I've calculated that it's going to force the queen back to a worse square, where she's less of a threat. Okay? And also, it's centralizing my knight. So he's going to have to think. I think probably short castles now. Then think about maybe spinning this knight around. I don't know. Might lift a rook. Something like this. I have no bishops now. Notice. He's taken both. Well, we have taken both my bishops. There we go. Queen goes back there. We knew that was coming. Short castles. Rook a e8. Rook e6. Something like this. I could think about putting more pressure on there. I wouldn't be surprised if c3 comes, but actually knight back here to annoy this bishop could be very... Yeah, there you go. Happy about that. No problem there. You see, I just visualized that move in my head and thought, well, actually, although the knight is leaving the true center of the board, it comes kind of with tempo. I mean, if given the chance, I will trade off that bishop, I think. The only downside really for me is this funky pawn structure here, but I think we should be okay. Notice the queen is the only defender of d3. No one defends this. So it's like this is, call that, you know, defended only once, right? Color code it. No one is defending b2. Defends, etc., etc. Now I get to repair my messed up pawn structure. Just visualizing, and I can take with a knight, I can take with a queen, I can propose a trade of queens. Nothing wrong with this picture. One issue with the knight coming here, though, is that my queen is no longer defending that knight. So if bishop should take, currently g takes is the only option. But I'm going to try and take his queen off the board, which will minimize any kind of downside if he should pull this, which weakens me positionally. But without a queen on the board, I'm not so concerned. The queen can't come here, for example. I'm threatening this undefended pawn. If queen takes, I've got knight takes, and then my knight is on a true outpost, because there's no pawns on these squares that can ever contest it. That's the definition of an outpost. Okay. Now, should I move this knight? I'm thinking probably yes. There. See, the problem with this move is, in one dimension, it's two attackers, one defender. But I take, queen takes queen, knight takes queen, I lose my knight. See? That's thinking in two dimensions. Okay, I'm going to spin the knight away. I don't want my pawns to be messed up there. I don't want my g-pawn there. Why? There's no need for it. You know, sometimes you just have to be sanguine and... Okay. Sod it, I'll trade off queens, I don't care. Can do this. Okay, this pawn potentially weak, but I like this idea of knight d c5. Pairing the knights together near the middle of the board. Gets it out of harm's way. I might play like rook fd8, try and trade off. Currently, it's just pretty much a fight. It's a straight fight. Two knights against one bishop. And it's my job to prove that the knights are superior. Which they are. So when you're in a position like this, simplify. You're up in material. I'm up a full piece, right? Stick these rooks. This is a semi-open file. B file is semi-open because there's pawns of one color on it. The D file is a completely open file. So my first move would probably be to put a rook on D8 and just say, we are trading off. And that just blunders a rook. After 47 seconds of thought, you hang a rook. There's an ad here, and I really had to look twice at that. What the hell is this? And it looked... First I thought it was a bedroom toy. Then I thought it looks like a baboon's arse. But I think actually it's cycling shorts. But then this other one next to it looks like a... is it a tardigrade? Tardigrade is just like tiny but really, really robust. Attacking that. Or some kind of mite or tick or something. Anyway, so anyone who's not a signed up member gets the entertainment value of Chinese crap on the side. Okay, you defend. Right, let's do what we said. It's an open file, stick a rook on it. Can't go here and attack the pawn. So, you know, you could goldfish here. I can see the bishop's undefended. I can see immediately all these pawns are defended. Bishop's undefended, which means I can only attack it from another dark square, but not with that guy in a hurry. I could go around this way. Sorry, I can attack it from a light square. It takes him 3 jumps to attack that bishop. I might even just be really boring and just like double up the rooks on the open file. Then try and just force a trade with a rook fork on king and rook, if he doesn't notice. But we are completely winning now. We're up a minor piece and a rook. So all I need to do is get that rook off the board. Knight here's the thought. I mean, really, any trades are fine by me. Knight here, knight here. King just attacks the knight. Knight here. G3 maybe. No rush for anything here. Okay, right, that's it. I see it. Hang on. Second attacker on there. Okay, well, I'll come in. This is a fork on rook and pawn. This pawn is defended. So the rook now really needs to go back to one of these squares. Then I have the rook AB8, attack it again. Then he might have to push it. I could even play this, but then we've got the same problem, the 2 attackers on that square. How about C5? It's not a passed pawn because the B pawn can theoretically intercept it. There we go. Let's push this. Oh, hang on, I have this as well, don't I? I like that move. I just like it. Again, just putting the knight in the middle. And you know when you're playing well as well, because I feel like I'm kind of a bit of an upswing right now. Even playing blitz games, I kind of quite easily just went through 1400 back up towards 1450. And it's, I mean, my blitz rating doesn't really matter to me. What do you mean I've been disconnected? I haven't been disconnected at all. Oh, okay. I just hung a pawn, look. I can have a check. Right, let's try and get the rook off the board then. Now notice I can't play my rook to here, but I can play my rook to here. This pawn also hangs. Could have just took it. He could play this now and defend the pawn. Just kind of miscalculation on my part. But this is a thing, and this is very much a weakness in my game. Is when I know a position is won, failing to win it. You've still got to do the work. You've still got to turn up. Right. Opponent's on 5 minutes 50. I'm on 12 minutes 50. Oh, we had an Italian 4 knights. Huh. Okay, well the obvious move is f6. This pawn is actually defended. Just king f8. King f8, just attack the rook. You can't take there because it's defended by the knight. Remember, knights can move backwards. Important lesson. I can play f6 at any time as well, but this is more forcing than f6. f6 was just like solidifying, but this is more forcing because now he has to move his rook, and he can't move it there, and he can't move it there, and he can't move it there. So what's he going to do? This? Well, that knight's defended too. I just slide the king over. Jesus Christ, Harman, you're humiliating my rook. Playing towns. Yeah, I confess I watched it again the other day. Not the whole thing, episode 2. Episode 2's the best episode because it's when Beth really kind of breaks out. I'm talking about the Queen's Gambit, by the way, guys. Okay, let's humiliate his rook a bit more. And her relationship with Towns over the years is just lovely as well. Still can't play rook there, remember this. I feel like we're dicking about now. He's made 6 rook moves in a row. Also, my king's actually... Notice how my king's kind of improving itself. Kings get more powerful the nearer towards the centre they get. In the endgame. In general. Not always. Come on, Hunty. Let's think about this. How can we force material off the board? Where can his rook go? No, no. No, 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 no. Okay, I can attack the rook with a knight. I can attack the rook with a rook, defended. Here, he can go there, he can go there. Or there's a free pawn. Yeah, free pawn. Here? I don't know. Here? Hits bishop. Okay, is it time? I don't know. f6 now takes. Then my pawn's undefended in the middle of the board. If my knight moves, he's got 2 attackers on that pawn. That's not really... Unless if my knight moves here. Okay, I'm just going to take it. Keep my pawns together. He'll take back with the bishop. I play knight e2. Huh? No! Look, I blundered. But I'm still winning. It's okay. This knight is under attack. I can throw in a check if I wish. He has 2 attackers on here, but this only suits me. If bishop takes, the bishop and the rook are both stuck. It's like a double pin situation. Throw in a check. He has to go here or here, I believe. Right, no more Mr. Nice Guy. He's in check, so he can't take my knight. That's the point. Okay, I'm going to move my knight here. I'm going to defend this pawn. You really should not take that pawn. It's a trap. Oh, no! Rook defends that. Ah. Okay. Right. Rook here, push. Pawn can't take because it's pinned. If he'd have been on his game, he'd have captured that pawn with probably with a bishop and with check. I am still +5. I've got a full rook. 4 pawns each, 1 minor piece each. I have 2 rooks, he has 1. That is the material point. So this is the threat, right? And the pawn can't take, and the pawn really can't afford to push on either. So what does he do in response to this? Bishop takes, knight recaptures, right? So my opponent has not played a really shoddy game at all, right? I mean, I wouldn't call this a beginner. I'd say this guy is maybe like 900 or something like that. Which puts him in the top 50% on chess.com. In fact, it always did. I think the kind of the mode, no, it's not the mode, is it? The median blitz rating is probably around 600-700 now. Used to be about 850 when I started, back when all this was just fields. But yeah, I do have this terrible habit of just relaxing when I think the game's going to win itself. Really need to channel my inner bastard much more than this. King there feels quite comfortable. Problem is I've got a similar problem then if I pin my own pawn. Knight could come there. What's he doing? What are you doing? Right? Always keep open that possibility that your opponent could do something completely dumb. Doesn't matter who you're playing, they might be 500 points higher rated than you. The more high rated they are, the more likely they are to fall for the trap of relaxing and thinking that, you know, they'll win this on just pure talent. Okay, check here, he has to go back there. Can I guard that? If I had a knight here, I could guard these, but I can't put a knight there because of that. Right, let's just go sweeping up. In fact, let's activate our final rook. What am I talking about? Come on. Got 2 rooks, for goodness sake. How can I give check there? If king is here, I want to give check there, but that's a long way for a knight to travel. As we said, 4 jumps. But there's no other square where I can give check on there. So what I'm thinking is if I have both 2 rooks here... Oh no. Okay. Well, that looks like checkmate to me. That's a classic ladder mate, is it not? Doesn't matter what you do with your pawns or anything else. It doesn't really matter what you do with your king. Is checkmate unavoidable now? I mean, he can't even... Oh, he's got 1 check himself. You see the difference between putting the rook here and going straight in for the check? In so many instances where you've got a check, I mean, you know, we say always look for checks, captures and threats and stuff like that, but like, what is that thing? Yeah, very often the check isn't tactically the best thing to go for. For example, if you've got an option of capturing with a bishop or a rook, right? Very often, capturing with the one that doesn't give check is better because when you move that piece away, the other piece will give check, depending whether the king's, like that. Anyway, so that was fun. Let us put that into here. I'm just going to log into chess.com. Going to go to an analysis board. What do we think? I don't think I played maybe 1300. Maybe 1300 level, 1400, I don't know. I think opponent was strong beginner type of thing, so I'm saying like 900 for them. All right, let's go for a review. 83 and 72 for white. Was I white? No, I was black. 1850. And he got 1500. Wow. And also, remember, this is completely raw. Chess.com is coming up with these based on knowing nothing about either player. So that's really fascinating. So I played the middle game really well. Interesting. And no mistakes from black. Yeah, I was black, wasn't I? I remember because we played e4, e5, didn't we? Good stuff. Well, but that's not the point. I mean, this is just for fun. But the main point is if you're sub 1500, because this guy played 1500, hopefully there were bits and bobs in there for you. And he only played one blunder, but I'm sure he blundered at least two pieces in that. Anyway, so yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and see you all very soon.